Is there any basis, do you think, for Washington's hostility?
Indeed, this isn't the first time that Washington or the Trump administration criticizes the court. What they're trying to do is to dismantle a completely legal entity because they are trying to assert themselves as above the law because they feel threatened by legal values, by legal principles for international justice, and only those who have feared the law try to undermine it.
And do you think that the threat of sanctions, is that damaging to the credibility of the institution itself?
No, I do not think it will damage the credibility of the International Criminal Court. In fact, it actually raises the credibility of the ICC, as it really asserts that everyone is equal before this court, that no one is immune from the law, and no one is above the law. So whoever has committed grave crimes should be punishable before the ICC when the ICC has jurisdiction.
And do you think this is part of a pattern from the Trump administration, just this hitting out at various international bodies?
Excuse me, can you please repeat that question?
Do you think this is part of a pattern from the Trump administration, something that we've been seeing over the past year or so, just the administration hitting out at various international bodies?
I think it is becoming a trend. The U.S. administration has started with leaving the Human Rights Council earlier in the year. They have cut funding from UNRWA, and now they are speaking in a very ugly and dangerous language against the ICC and international justice more broadly. So it is indeed becoming a trend. I think the U.S. is isolating itself from the international justice framework, and that signals a disengagement between the U.S. and the ICC, an engagement that we have seen for over 10 years, and it seems now that they will stop engaging.
And Amal, where does this attack on the ICC, where does it leave the victims of the kinds of crimes that are prosecuted at the court?
Once the court makes its decision and the judges decide whether to open an investigation in Afghanistan or an investigation in other countries that the U.S. has spoken against, like in Palestine, the court will proceed with the investigation. This will not be changed by Bolton's speech. It will not be changed by this new policy of the Trump administration, and victims will still be able to seek redress through the ICC. But the ICC still needs to be supported by other member states because it is a court that it depends on cooperation of states. So now it is a moment where states should come and speak in support of the court in delivering its promise to the victims.
And what do you think that the US is likely to do next? Do you think that funding will be targeted, or will it go even further than that?
Well, the United States, as a non-state party, has not really contributed to the funding of the ICC. It has never been obliged, but I do think that it might affect many people who work on the ICC, including lawyers, American lawyers as well, and civil society organizations, as well as the judiciary and the prosecutor herself, as Bolton noted in his speech. I do not know what concrete action will be followed after yesterday's speech. So I'm waiting, in fact, to see what will be translated into reality. But I think what they have spoken of was completely dangerous and really shameful to be said.
OK, Amal Nassar from the International Federation for Human Rights, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Iran